Good afternoon. My name is Phil. I'm the owner of Fenix Forge, and I'm the only blacksmith I have. I wanted to take a minute today, and well, actually a couple minutes, and show you how to make a railroad spike knife. I have a lot of people ask me how to do it and why I do it. The answer to why I do it is because I enjoy it. The answer to how I do it is, well, you're going to find out. So please pardon the noise in the background. Those are my boys playing out here at the barn. I use a coal forge when I make stuff. That's coke getting caught there. This is just a 55-gallon drum with a brake rotor in it. I put another 55-gallon drum on top as a hood. So that's what I use for a forge. My anvil is just a little Harbor Freight 60-pound anvil. Okay, so we're back. I've got the forge running. Turn my blower down. So I have a normal railroad spike. I actually had somebody give this to me. And I have a pair of railroad spike tongs. You can notice how there's kind of a hole here. You fit the railroad spike in like that, and no matter which direction it's turned, the head doesn't get in the way. This is a railroad spike, happens to be marked HC for high carbon. This particular spike knife, I want to go ahead and leave the head on. Add a little something extra to the handle. Since I'm right-handed, I'll work on this side of the anvil for you. All I'm going to do is start drawing it out. Working on all four sides. Go ahead and take another heat. Again, I'm just going to do the same thing, working on all four sides, drawing it out a little more. It's already significantly longer than it was when I started. You can see that there. Stretched it out a little bit. We'll flip it over. On the other side. Alright, so we're just going to work on thinning down and drawing out the rest of this. Now that I've got that about the size I want, I'm going to go ahead and heat up the head end again and draw that out a little more so it's about the right size for a handle. Now you're looking right at the anvil. I think you'll be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better, and I won't have to change directions. Alright, so as you can see, significantly larger than it was when it started. Just drew it out a little bit, spread all the metal that was in here, moved it down toward the end. Haven't really touched the end very much. That's going to be the pointy end. But the next thing you're going to see me do is use a tool I made. It's called a fuller. The fuller is just a piece of flat stock, and I welded two 1/2-inch rounds on the inside. It's a spring fuller, so when they connect, it pinches the steel. The hard need to go in the hole here. Just drop it down in. You'll see how it works. Once it gets in there nice and hot, just give it a good hammer and it squishes it closed. Alright, so here's my spike. I'm going to put it in the fuller. I don't know, probably about there. Give it a couple good whacks. Turn it over, make sure everything's nice and even. And turn it over again. One more time. That ought to do. I can work with that. Might be a short blade on this knife, but we'll figure it out when we get there. This is what we got so far. Notice the handle straight. Got a pretty decent looking blade there. Thinner down at the tip, thicker up here. Try to keep it pretty thin along the cutting edge. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move you over to where I have my vise set. And I'm actually going to heat up this handle so it's really hot, and I'm going to twist this handle around a couple times just to give it a little grip. So I'm going to get you moved, get this heated up, and then we'll come back. Okay, the next step to this is going to be, I'm going to take my knife that I have and I want to twist the handle. So I'm going to put it in my vise here, I'm going to tighten it down, and I'm going to twist the back end of it with my nice large set of channel locks there. So it takes a while to get that hot, and it's going to be really hot when I get it over here. It might actually take 2 heats for me to get it twisted, I don't know. But as soon as I get that heated up, I'll come back and I'll get that handle twisted, and we'll finish this thing off. Bring this over here and put it in the vise. You gotta clamp it down nice and tight, otherwise we'll lose it while we're working on it. Now we're just gonna grip it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is put a little bit of a bend in this handle. So there, put a little bend in it, put the blade back in the direction it needed to be. So once this gets cooled off, then we'll start grinding on it. Okay, so I got my blade in my fire. This is something we have to be really, really careful because the blade is thin right now and the edge is tapered down. So we have to watch it real close to make sure it doesn't get too hot and burn. As you can see, it's already starting to get there. And it's only been in there a minute or two. So I'll put it back in. I'm going to try to get the blade, the whole thing, up to temperature before I put it in. So that ought to be a good temperature and in the quench. We'll just move it back and forth. And we'll pull it out. And that should be our heat treated blade. Jake, you want to spin the camera there for me?
Yep.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the file right on the edge here. I'm going to put some pressure and slide it down. If it bites in, you'll feel it. What we want is for it to skate right off, which is what it's doing. It's just skating right off. Not biting at all. It's literally just skating right off that edge. So that is a nice heat treated blade. It's a railroad spike knife, so it's not going to be as hard as like a carbon steel,